History has a cruel rhythm. Empires rise, empires fall, peace blossoms, then somehow decays back into conflict. A generation swears never again, only for the next to forget. Why does a species capable of compassion, empathy, imagination, and reason keep walking into the same burning buildings, with full knowledge that they are burning? Why do we return to tyranny after fighting so hard for freedom? Why do we fall for hatred after yearning so deeply for peace? Why do we repeat the very tragedies that destroyed those before us? Today, we explore one of humanity's oldest and most unsettling questions. Why does history repeat its tragedies, as if we never learn? And the answer is not a single force. It is a psychological trap, a moral weakness, a societal cycle, and a flaw in how we remember and how quickly we forget. This is a story that stretches across centuries and into our own hearts. The cycle that crawls through time. Let's begin in Athens, 404 BCE, a city that had been the shining symbol of democracy, learning, and culture. A city that defeated the Persians, birthed philosophy, and raised a new idea of freedom. But after 3 decades of brutal war, Athens begged for peace. The people were tired enough to surrender their principles for the promise of security. So they handed power to a council of oligarchs who ruled through fear. The 30 tyrants. Athenians later asked, how could we, the birthplace of democracy, have allowed this? But this question wasn't unique. Thousands of years later, during the rise of totalitarianism in the 20th century, the same pattern emerged. A society under pressure, people exhausted by crisis, a leader who promises certainty, order, or safety, a gradual surrendering of freedoms in exchange for the illusion of control. Different century, different technology, different culture, same trap. Now travel to medieval Europe. Generation after generation suffered devastating plagues. Each time, panic ignited paranoia. Communities searched for scapegoats, religious minorities, outsiders, healers, even children. They believed persecution would protect them. It never did. Every outbreak ended the same way. A graveyard full of innocent people, and societies no closer to understanding the disease. The tragedy was not the illness. It was how humans responded to fear. Fast forward to the 19th and 20th centuries. Industrialization brought wealth, but also poverty, revolt, and inequality. World War I was called the war to end all wars. Yet only 2 decades later, the world plunged into an even darker abyss. The same nationalist fervor, the same hunger for belonging, the same leaders who exploited fear, the same blindness to the lessons of the past, different weapons, same human psychology. And today, we see similar patterns, the same political polarization, the same mistrust, the same manipulation of identity, emotion, and fear, the same cycles of outrage and amnesia. History does not repeat itself because the world fails. History repeats because humans fail to outgrow themselves. But why? Let's break it down. Why are we stuck in this loop? Reason. Number 1. Human memory is shorter than human life. A tragedy is remembered with painful clarity by the generation that lives through it. But then, they pass away. And the warnings they leave gradually soften. Soon, what was once a catastrophe becomes a chapter in a textbook, a lesson easily memorized but rarely felt. No matter how many war documentaries we watch, we do not feel what they felt. No matter how many stories of oppression we study, we don't carry their fear in our bones. Humanity's memory resets every 70 or 100 years, and every reset restarts the cycle. Reason number 2. Emotions replace reason every time. Humans are not rational creatures. We are emotional creatures who use rationality to justify our emotions. Fear beats logic. Anger beats compromise. Identity beats truth. Group loyalty beats morality. When a society feels threatened, economically, culturally, politically, its people choose comfort over complexity, certainty over nuance, unity over truth. This is how demagogues rise in every century. It's how scapegoating repeats across cultures. It's how propaganda becomes powerful again and again. We think we are smarter than past generations, yet the same emotional shortcuts still control us. Reason number 3. Progress creates new blind spots. Every age believes it has outsmarted the past. Medieval Christians thought they had surpassed the Romans. Industrial age Europeans believed themselves more advanced than all ancient civilizations. People today assume we are more enlightened than anyone who lived before electricity. Yet progress does not eliminate human flaws, it magnifies them. Technology amplifies propaganda, comfort weakens resilience. Information overload blurs truth. Globalization spreads conflict faster than ever. We build systems that make life easier, and yet the very systems create new vulnerabilities. Progress is not protection. Progress is temptation. It makes us cocky, and therefore prone to repeat mistakes. Reason number 4. We study history, but not ourselves. Schools teach wars, dates, kings, and empires. But they rarely teach why humans seek power, why crowds abandon morality, why people follow extremists, or why fear transforms ordinary people into instruments of cruelty. History's engine is human nature, not events. And if you don't understand the engine, you can't change the destination. Reason number 5. The cycle is built into us. Humans crave order, growth, comfort, complacency, decay, crisis, renewal. It is the life cycle of civilizations, but also the life cycle of individuals. Societies fall because people refuse to sacrifice comfort for long-term stability. Empires collapse because leaders refuse to restrain their ambitions. Nations repeat mistakes because each generation must relearn what the last one took for granted. And humans, whether ancient or modern, carry the same desires, fears, and insecurities. History repeats because the human mind repeats. Breaking the cycle. Now we arrive at the real question. Are we doomed to repeat the tragedies of the past? Or can humanity finally break the pattern? To answer this, let's zoom in on one moment. Germany, 1945. Its cities were destroyed, its society traumatized, its identity shattered. And yet, from that devastation, Germany rebuilt not only a nation, but a new consciousness. They studied their past. They confronted their failures. They reshaped institutions to prevent old patterns. They taught their children not just what happened, but why people allowed it to happen. They didn't erase their history. They interrogated it. And in doing so, they broke what could have been an endless cycle. So yes, cycles can be broken, but it requires something rare. Moral courage, psychological humility, memory strong enough to resist forgetting, and individuals willing to think beyond their own lifetime. In other words, to stop repeating history's tragedies, we must become wiser than our instincts. What does that look like? It means teaching emotional intelligence, not just historical facts. It means building systems that restrain our worst impulses. It means questioning leaders who use fear to gain power. It means recognizing propaganda before it spreads. It means prioritizing truth over tribal loyalty. It means remembering that every genocide, every war, every collapse began with ordinary people ignoring warning signs. Breaking the cycle does not require superhumans. It requires self-aware humans. Why this matters now? We live in an age of extraordinary progress and extraordinary instability. Political divides harden, disinformation spreads, economic inequality grows, global tensions simmer. People search for certainty in a chaotic world. These are the conditions where history repeats itself. But they can also be the conditions where humanity finally chooses differently. We stand at a turning point, much like Athens before its fall, like Europe before the world wars. like empires before their collapse. The question is not whether history repeats. The question is, do we dare to break the pattern? The final reflection. History does not repeat because time is circular. History repeats because we are. Unless we confront our fears, challenge our instincts, and learn not just the events of history, but the psychology beneath them, we will continue the same dance, from peace to tension, from tension to conflict, from conflict back to peace, and forget the cost every time. But if we face ourselves honestly, if we acknowledge the weaknesses that connect us to every generation before us, then maybe, for the first time in thousands of years, humanity will write a different ending. Because the future isn't shaped by what happened yesterday. It's shaped by whether we choose to remember. If you found this exploration insightful, give this video a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Timeless Questions channel for more deep dives into philosophy, history, and human nature. Because the questions may be ancient, but the wisdom is timeless.